Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Slice of Health, the Candid Health Chat podcast, where we slice away health truth from health fiction. Join me and my friends as we challenge common health myths via chit chat, powered by several cups of coffee. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media, and do visit us at asliceofhealth.club. Let's get to today's episode. Welcome back to A Slice of Health, where health comes alive with bite-sized health education to keep you moving and become your own health champion with stories that heal and knowledge that empowers. But before we jump into our topic for today, I want to tell you a story. Sandra, a 32-year-old woman, has become increasingly tired. She's not quite sure why she's tired. She finds that she goes to the gym 3 times a week to do exercise of moderate intensity, lifting weights, and sometimes participating in cardio. She also finds that she makes most of her meals at home and doesn't often spend much money on things like coffee and teas at shops and cafes. She makes most of the drinks that she has at home, often terming herself a modern barista. She recently spoke to her doctor and had some blood tests done because she was also noticing that her hair seemed to be thinning and her skin also seemed to be drying. Her mother had made some comments that she was looking a lot more pale. The blood tests revealed that she had something called iron deficiency anemia. Her iron levels were really low and her blood count levels were also low. The doctor wanted to know why this might have happened. She had a look through her lifestyle, spoke about her diet, and it seemed like she was eating all the right sort of things that should normally help boost iron levels. However, she still was anemic. The doctor arranged for several scans, including a scan of her womb to check if she had fibroids that might have caused more bleeding than usual, and her womb had no fibroids. So she was prescribed some oral iron to take that would increase iron count in her blood and return for another blood test in a few months. However, she still feels unsettled. She's not quite sure what exactly it is that might have caused her anemia. She took to the pages of Instagram and saw someone saying that it was her matcha. So, today we ask, does matcha really cause iron deficiency anemia? Or should she just keep going on enjoying her nice green tea? So, what exactly is iron deficiency anemia? Iron deficiency anemia happens when the body doesn't have enough iron to help produce and support healthy red blood cells. Now, red blood cells are really important because a major component of them, called hemoglobin, carries oxygen throughout the body. And so when iron levels are low and critically low, we have experiences such as tiredness, fatigue, changes in skin like paleness, shortness of breath, changes in our nail shape. Sometimes some people can also have an irregular heartbeat. Some people can also have significant shortness of breath if they're doing different kinds of exercise. There are different causes of iron deficiency anemia. In some people, it is because they have heavy periods, specifically in women, but in other people, it could be as a result of dietary changes, such as not eating enough green leafy vegetables, not eating red meat specifically, not eating lentils and legumes that are high in iron. Other causes of iron deficiency anemia can sometimes be a genetic predisposition to this. And in cases where we become worried, it can be a sign of cancer, specifically in older people, because iron might sometimes not be absorbed properly in the gut if there is bowel cancer. So, where exactly does matcha come into play? And do we think that it was the cause of Sandra's symptoms? What exactly is matcha? Matcha is this finely ground powder grown from green tea leaves. That's what it is. Matcha is basically green tea, but we have it all ground together as one nice powdery lump, as opposed to just dipping the leaves in water. Matcha in itself is actually quite beneficial because it is green tea, and we know that green tea specifically contains certain compounds that can also help in radiance, health, and in some people, loss of weight. But matcha, as many green teas, produce these compounds called tannins, and these tannins can bind to iron in the body's digestive system and then makes it difficult for the body to absorb the iron. Now, the most important thing here is to note that this can potentially occur with any green tea. However, because the matcha is fully ground as powder and we're consuming it whole, the risk tends to be higher in this situation. The effect of this binding to iron and preventing your body from absorbing it tends to happen more with iron sources that might be from plants. So, what should Sandra do in this situation? Well, we need to first of all ask her how much matcha is she actually having? If she's having a lot of matcha, then we probably need to recommend that she cuts down to maybe 1 or 2 cups daily and avoid having it with meals. Because if she's having it with meals, then the likelihood that it's going to absorb and adhere to those iron components in meals can then contribute to that. So, one of the most important things is to drink matcha in between food as opposed to with food, and to wait a few hours after having a diet or a meal that has a lot of iron content before then having matcha. Also, moderating the intake of matcha would also definitely help. Other things that can help would also then be to increase the amount of iron rich foods that she's taking, especially if she is at higher risk of iron deficiency, perhaps due to her genetic predisposition or just how her body has been built. So, in summary, matcha is a lovely green tea that can be enjoyed in a great variety of ways, and green tea, as we know, does have a lot of benefits. However, high levels of matcha have been noted to reduce iron absorption, and so it's really important to apply everything in moderation and enjoy matcha safely. That's it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Until I'm back in your ear tomorrow with stories that heal and knowledge that empowers. Bye for now and enjoy your matcha of the day. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. Remember that this podcast in no way replaces the advice you receive from your own doctor or physician. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on social media. Leave us a review on iTunes so that others can access the amazing content. And don't forget to be a health champion wherever you are by separating health fact from health fiction.